All right, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about your job. Any job that you've ever worked, any money that you've ever received in exchange for a service. I want you to think about how long it took you to receive that money and the amount of money that it took you to receive it, or that you received. I'm going to use myself as an example to start out. My first and last time I worked a job was when I was in high school. I worked at a place called Funplex, which is just like a local amusement park in New Jersey. And it's like a mini amusement park. They got an arcade, they got little rides outside and stuff like that. And I was making $12 an hour. And so every 2 weeks, which is what we got paid, I would receive anywhere from 350 to $450 from my work checks. And I want you to think about that. And then I want you to think about day trading. I want you to think about what you either have made, the possibilities of what you can make, or what you intend on making day trading. And I want you to really put that into perspective. And then I want you to think about the time that it takes you to do this. So when I was working those, it would take me 2 weeks to receive my, let's even say, let's be generous and say $450. It took me 2 weeks to receive that, working multiple hours a day, probably minimum 4 or 5 hours a day over the span of 2 weeks. When it comes to day trading, a lot of times you can make that in a matter of seconds, a matter of minutes, even hours, a day. Say, let's say even 2 days. Be generous. I want you to think about that and put it into perspective. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because when it comes to prop firms and when it comes to a lot of the propaganda that I feel like is in the space that doesn't get spoken about enough is the emphasis on speed. They want you to, a lot of times prop firms promote, oh, pass challenge in 1 day, oh, get payout in 3 days, get payout on your first day, do this, do that. And they always measure it in speed. I feel like it's a propaganda to make you fail, and it's not spoken about really at all. I've never seen anybody speak about it, which is why it kind of made me want to talk about it. That being said, that was popping everybody. Welcome to another video. Hope you guys are all having a blessed day. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into this video. So, when it comes to the emphasis on speed in these prop firms and in the game of just trading in general, a lot of times you hear this stuff. I've seen a prop firm say you can get paid within 3 days of buying your first challenge and all this stuff. But when you really think about it, it's like that's really just to work against you. It's really to get in your head and to make you feel like you can rush your process. You feel more inclined to rush your process. And then it also just makes you a lot more likely to fail because you are in the back of your mind, oh, I can get a payout within a day. I can get a payout within 3 days. I gotta get that payout in 3 days. Like, no, take your time. Like, there's no problem, there's no penalty for taking your time. So let's go back to what I said about the work exercise. Or the exercise I said when thinking about your job. For me, it took me 2 weeks to make 450 to $500. I have the ability to make that within the day. I have the ability to make that within 2 days, 3 days, even let's say 2 weeks. I make $500. You need to think about the input because day trading is all about inputs. What did it take for me to make that $500? Being generous, say it took me 2 days. How long was I on the charts for the span of 2 days? No more than 30 minutes to an hour. So in 2 hours, let's say I made $500. That's $250 an hour when you measure it out and when it comes to just your dollar per hour and your input for a dollar that you're getting back from it. Now, when you compare that to your job that you work, you can really kind of put in perspective where it's like, okay, I was making $12 an hour versus $250 an hour, doing two completely different things. We're here making $12 an hour. I'm miserable. I'm working with people that I don't like. It's a lot of just loud noises, and it's an amusement park is kids running around. You can't be on your phone. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's all these regulations versus when you're here working, making $250 an hour, let's just say day trading, you don't have to worry about any of that. And you're working for way less, meaning you're getting your time back. You get the rest of your day to do whatever you want to do. Over there, I'm there all day just to make a fraction of that. And time is our most valuable asset. Time is the one thing on this earth that money cannot buy you back. You cannot buy time back. You can possibly do things to skip time with money, but you cannot ever buy time back. Nobody can go back in time. And time is the one thing you can't reverse. So Why are you trying to rush these things to make these crazy, outrageous numbers? Like, no, put into perspective how much you would make an hour, how much you could make a day working every 2 weeks, every week if you get paid weekly, and just try to make that your main priority, make that your main focus trading. Because now that you've done that, right? Let's say you made $100 in 1 hour day trading. You now have the rest of your day to go do anything else you want to do, and it's just compounding from there. You're just scaling. Like, yes, it's gonna. You might start off small, but eventually you will get to those points to where you're making 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, $100,000 in that day or in that month or whatever the case may be. And we get so caught up in the now and in the I need this money right now, or this isn't enough. I made $300 in such a small day. Like, yo, think about that. There's people that make $300 weekly, monthly, like in other countries that would kill to have that ability to make that money in that short amount of time. And I think a lot of times the propaganda and the speed that is emphasized when it comes to a lot of prop firms and trading in general, it dilutes our head and it makes us kind of forget real life in a way, because it's like, yo, people would kill to be able to make $1,000 in, let's say, 3 hours by pressing some buttons and sitting at the chair. Like, it is such an easy job, and we take it for granted because of all the outside noise, and it just pollutes our mind. And I think that is something that needs to be reassured and re-emphasized, because it causes a lot of people to blow up. You know, you have in your head like, oh, I have to get this payout in 3 days, and I can get paid in 3 days. Like, I'm gonna do it. I want to do it. I want to reach that goal. I want to get a payout in 1 day. I want to hit my max, whatever. Like, you don't have to do that though. Like, there's no reason for you to rush. Your goal should just be to be able to cover something. If you've never gotten a payout before, if you're not profitable, if you never made money within the market, don't shoot for the stars off rip. Like, yes, it's good to have high goals, but focus on each step at a time. Focus on, okay, I want to replace one bill with trading. Okay, I want to replace all my bills with trading. Okay, I want to have extra money to reinvest and do this with trading. Like, don't offer up say trading's gonna retire me tomorrow. Like, no, don't make that your main goal. Don't say, oh, for me to retire, I need to make $5,000 every 2 weeks with day trading. Like, you don't have to do that. Yes, it's good. Yes, it will come, but right now, immediately, it does not have to come. It is not going to come when you're trying to force it. All of these goals are only going to come when you're patient and when you actually take your time and let them come naturally. This stuff isn't going to come by force. The more you try to force and impose your will and impose yourself on the market, is the more that it's going to go away from you, the harder it's going to be. I can tell you because I have experienced it. The times that I tried to make the most amount of money is when I lost the most. And when I was not focused on making the most amount of money is when I made the most amount of money. So it's like, you see the inverse correlation with that. Like, stop making the speed and the money your main priority. Just take it day by day. There's no reason to force, there's no reason to rush, because you're literally on the charts for minutes to hours a day. Like, you're not doing much work. You're sitting at a desk looking at screens and pressing two buttons, buy and sell, take profit, stop loss. Like, you're not doing a lot. There's people that are would kill to have that opportunity. So stop taking it for granted. Stop rushing your process and take your time. Which is also why I feel like the prop firm space is poison in a way, because you're forced to think like that. That's how you're taught. That's how you are kind of introduced to the market. Like, okay, you can get a payout in 3 days, or you can get a payout in 5 days, or you get a payout in every 2 weeks here. That's, you know, so just sit down and think about that with yourself. Think about however much money you would make from your job. Think about what it would cost to replace that through trading, and just make that your goal. Because you're gonna have the rest of your day to do whatever you want. Then you can focus on building another business, or focus on your health, or even go to work if you want to do. But you have way more opportunity and way more freedom with your time to do what you want to do, which I think is ultimately the best blessing as a human, because time is what we cannot get back, and that is the most important thing in this life. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it at that though. I think that's everything I want to talk about. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Hope you guys did learn something, and I hope you guys take what I just told you. So I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Stay blessed. I'm recording this on a Friday, so if you are watching this today, have a blessed weekend. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace out.